Good morning all. Today I am going to discuss regarding hypersensitivity and allergic reactions. What is exactly the hypersensitivity? Coming to the history, it starts with first a jellyfish toxin which shows shock-like state in swimmers, and from that we find out that antigen is toxic, which produces type of reaction. So the common definition indicates that it would be allergy or unwanted immune response to a particular chemical, and the types are basically classified into 4 different categories, out of which 3 are antibody mediated, 1 is cell mediated. Again, if you go for the difference between these two, you can find out in cell mediated it is localized inflammation, whereas in humoral it shows extensive tissue damage. Let us discuss the variation in type 1, type 2 and type 3 type of hypersensitivity reaction. According to the time of onset, type 1 is immediate within 30 minutes, type 2 requires 24 hours, whereas type 3 makes days to weeks. The causes of type 1 are beta-lactam antibiotics or some neuromuscular blockers and some NSAIDs, whereas in type 2 it is purely cell or cell surface associated antigenic reaction, and in type 3 it is antibody dependent cytotoxic actions. The mediators are generally immunoglobulin E in case type 1, in type 2 and type 3 that is immunoglobulin G mediated. The type of action they produce: in case of a type 1, because of mast cell degranulation, they produce inflammatory mediators. In type 2, the complement system activation and they causes phagocytosis. In type 3, it produces formation of immune complex type of reactions. Coming to the last category, that is type 4, which is cell mediated, and here the type of cell is a T cell. So the T cells are again various type, like Th1 helper cell, that is T helper cell 1, T helper cell 2 and cytotoxic T lymphocytes. The antigens are basically soluble antigen, whereas in cytotoxic T lymphocytes this is cell associated antigen. Coming to effector mechanism, in case this figure you can find out there is macrophage activation which release interferon gamma, and finally chemokines, cytokines and cytotoxins are released in the activation of T helper 1 cell. In T helper 2 they can produce as immunoglobulins and eosinophilic activation of mastocytes. Interleukin 4, interleukin 5 are responsible for generation of cytotoxics and inflammatory mediators, whereas cytotoxic T lymphocytes are produced as direct cytotoxic action. Coming to some examples of T helper 1 cells produces dermatitis, whereas in case of TS2 cells they produces chronic allergic rhinitis, and CTL cells produces contact dermatitis type of conditions. Till now we have discussed regarding the type of hypersensitivity. Now just I will ask you some question and I will pause for a while. Meanwhile you answer the question: what is anaphylaxis and prophylaxis and how they differ? So after a pause we start. These are the answers. Like anaphylaxis is a severe potentially fatal type of systemic allergic reactions which occurs suddenly after contact with an allergy causing substances, whereas prophylaxis is the action taken before development of any such conditions which prevents before the occurrence. The examples are given: allergy occurs after insect bites. Here we are giving some antibiotic before surgery by some physicians. Coming to the other mediators, these are some other mediators which can produce immunological reactions like proteins, foreign serums and vaccines, plant pollens like raygrass, parathenium grass, drugs like penicillin, subflammides and local anesthetics. In foods, nuts, seafoods, eggs, albumin, etc. Insect products can also produce like ant venom, cockroach calyx. In animal danders like cat and dog hairs. These are my references. Thank you for the patience learning of all of you.